Hello, for today's video I wanted to show you how you can get yarn from knitwear that you thrift from the thrift store. Buying yarn, cotton or wool yarn can be, from the store, from the shop, can be rather expensive, admittedly. But wool, cotton, they're very lovely fabrics to have in your skin. So I wanted to show you how you can kind of repurpose the yarn from certain sweaters and cardigans that you get from thrift shop. Cardigans, sweaters, scarves, there you can get for rather cheap, to be honest. I got this cardigan, I think for, it's been a while, I haven't actually gone around to unraveling it. I think I got this maybe for, say, €5, and it's 100% cotton. This is a big cardigan, it's an XXL, so I am going to get quite a lot of yarn out of it, and you could not get this much yarn for €5, 100% cotton from a shop. So this will be, I think, worth my time. Things you want to look for when doing this. One, obviously the colour. Do you like this kind of colour? Do you like the thickness of the yarn? Two, the size of the project, the size of the knitwear. If it's going to be, if it's a baby sweater, you're not really going to get a lot of yarn out of it. So you don't have to actually look for your size. The bigger the size, the better. Or if you have like a baby sweater, maybe you can make a cowl out of that much yarn. I got an XXL, so I'm definitely going to be able to make a chunky sweater out of this, maybe even another cowl on top of it. Then obviously check the label. So you basically just go through the racks looking for colors that suit you, and then just flip the cardigan or the sweater inside out, check for the label, wools, yarns, all that kind of mixes. Maybe not bother with acrylic, because to buy acrylic is not really that expensive. Go for like solid materials. And one more thing that you definitely have to check for as well when you're turning out the work is the seams. You have to open up the seam and look for, I'm guessing this is a crochet, and look for this, it looks like a row of stitches, like crochet stitches. And that's what you want to look for. If the seams are sewn together, you want this row of crochet stitches. What you don't want is, I hope you can see this in this light, what you don't want it to be sewn together with a sewing machine like this. Because what it means, what the difference is, if it is crochet together, that means that this panel has been knit back and forth for this particular panel. So if you unravel it, it'll be one long string. If it's sewn together, it means that there was one huge piece of fabric knitted, and then they cut out the shape that they wanted and sewed it together with another panel. If you unravel this, then every row will be its own yarn, its own piece of string. So you'll just get 100, more than 100 pieces of short strings, which would mean a lot of ends to weaving. So don't bother with that. So crocheted seams, not sewn seams. Say that 10 times in a row. So once you have your garment, so once you come home, pop it all in the wash, because it did come from a thrift store, just to kind of get that thrift store smell out of it, and let it dry. You then want to get some fabric scissors. You then want to get some really thin fabric scissors, really sharp scissors, or one of these. I think this is a seam ripper. I think, can you see it enough? Yeah. A seam ripper, and very, very carefully remove the labels and any hardware that is on the garment, zippers, buttons, stuff like that. Maybe you can reuse the buttons and zippers for another project. Why throw it away? When removing the label, especially the ones with the washing instructions and the material, I wouldn't throw it away just yet, so maybe you can afterwards shove it into the cake that we're going to make. Now, to save some time with the seams, sometimes when you have the crochet line here, pick one, undo one, and then kind of in the way that it is pointing, like you have the loop and then you have the V, the way the V is pointing, you can sometimes pull it much more easier. Just gonna do one. So make sure you have a thread, then undo one loop of it, and then normally you can just pull it out, pull it away, and open up the seam instead of having to unpick every individual one. Everything is now in... Hi. So the cardigan is now reduced to its individual sections. Pavlov has been a fantastic project manager. You look like a mummy. So now all that is left to do is to wind them into little cakes. Now, this is a yarn winder. If you don't have this, that's fine. You can just wrap it around in a little ball, all the yarn. It's fine. And now all that is left is to find the beginning of the yarn, which can admittedly be a bit of a fiddly task. This is a good thing to do while listening to an audiobook or watching a show, if you can multitask. There might be a few false starts. And there we have it. 4 lovely cakes of yarn. Plenty to make a new sweater, and in time to add to my stash, because let's face it, I am running out of yarn. See you next time.